Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Isaiahlebron back again here with another video. Today is a different setup. Today is going to be a video on if you work a shitty job in 2024 going into 2025. There's 3 months left to 2024. 2025 is upon us, and if you're going in there working a shitty job, I understand, man. You got to pay the bills, right? You got to eat. You got to make sure a roof is over your head, and um, the thing is, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do to get out of that. And listen, for those of you that don't want to get out of that, maybe you like your job, even if it is shitty at times, but you know that it's just not enough, especially in this economy. And who knows what the economy, at least here in the U.S., is going to look like these next couple of years. Um, I just want to give you some insights on what I'm doing, what I did in the past, um, so you can escape that shitty job, man. Because let's be honest here, that's just not going to work out for you, man. Like, if you just keep working that shitty job, you're going to keep taking on debt, right? Can't go on vacations, at least good vacations. You're raising a family is probably going to be very, very hard because, you know, um, government benefits are slowly dwindling, right? And do you really want to live on government benefits? Probably not, man. Right? So, I'm going to share with you on what you need to do if you're working a shitty job in 2024 and going into 2025. So, this is just off the cuff. For those of you that have been subscribers of me for a while now, you know this is a different setup of video. I usually make business videos, but today I want to empathize for the people that are working shitty jobs because I used to work a shitty job. And if I had to work a shitty job for whatever reason, this is what exactly what I would do. So you have to understand that if you want something greater in life, if you want to achieve more, if you want more financial freedom, more location freedom, more time freedom, three big freedoms that all us entrepreneurs strive for. You have to understand that obviously at 9 to 5, a shitty job won't get you there. It just just won't. Unless you're working remotely as a software development engineer or something like that. I mean, even then you don't have any time freedom, right? You're gonna be working around the clock. And for most of you that did not go to college, did not go to community college, did not go to trade school, you're probably working some shitty customer service, retail, or warehouse, Amazon, UPS job, and because that's all the prospects you have. And I totally sympathize with that because uh, I have no, I have no inkling of going to college. I never went to college. I barely passed high school. I have no inkling of going to trade school. I have certain health conditions that if I were to go to trade school, I'd probably die on the job site, right? So um, those things are not in my future. But the thing that is business, specifically online business. And I'm not here to sell you anything, but I'm going to show you how to move into that. It doesn't have to be specifically an online business, but it has to be something at least online if you do want that location freedom that you really want. Um, but for those of you that are working some shitty warehouse, Amazon sort of, job, if I were in your shoes, this is exactly what I would do. So you have to understand that your job is a means to an end, right? If you don't have any other thing going for you outside of your job, then you're basically in a dead end position. Now I know some people they have that, job. They go in the morning and then maybe they have 1 to 2 hours of free time in the evening and then they go to their night shift job and then it's just a rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I know a lot of people are like that. They work 2 jobs to make ends meet. But is that really how you want to live? And you can barely afford the bills. Even if you can't afford the bills, you're making 4, 5, 6K a month with 2 jobs. You're going to be working 80-hour weeks, 90-hour weeks, 100-hour weeks. And hey, go ahead and grind. But I like to see, like, we need to glide. We don't need to grind, right? So Listen, this is what I would do. If you're getting paid, first of all, quit. Unless you have crazy bills or anything like that, you have a child to take care of, this might be a little bit harder for you. But just get one job, right? Just get one shitty Amazon warehouse job, just a regular job, getting paid anywhere between 15 to 20 or more dollars an hour. If you can find something more than $20 an hour and you're working 40-hour weeks, perfect. Now, this is just, I live in a lower cost area here in Pennsylvania, so $15 to $20 an hour, you're definitely still scraping by, but it's not like, in Los Angeles or New York City or DC or Florida even. So get a $15 to $20 an hour job. I'm assuming you already are in this. And every time you are off of work, you need to be working on something. You don't have the luxury to drink on the weekends. You don't have the luxury to fuck off your evenings playing video games. Listen, I love playing video games. But that is because I own a business and I also am in a remote job that doesn't require my time. But I still get paid the same even if I work 5 hours a week, if I work 40 hours a week, right? And so I make time for it. But for you guys that want to leave that shitty job, you don't have the luxury to be doing those things. Those things are luxuries, right? There's 2 skills you need to focus on. There's only 2 skills you need to focus on, right? If you're working a shitty job. 2 skills. Remember these 2 skills, because when you want to go into business for yourself, these are the 2 foundational business principles, even in certain remote jobs, that you're going to want to have. That is marketing and that is sales. As long as you understand these foundational principles of business, marketing, and sales, you can go into almost any remote role that is a sales role, a customer service role, client success role, or a marketing role, and you can excel. Right? So if you're getting paid $2K, $3K, $4K a month with your full-time job, and you go into a remote job, a sales position or a marketing position that's, you're getting paid an extra $2 to $3K a month. Like if you're making around like $2,800 a month, about 35 grand a year, plus another 2K, well, you're now making upwards of 55, 60 grand a year. Boom. And if you're like my age, I turned 22 in like a couple days. If you're in that 18 to 28 sort of realm, you're killing it, especially if you live in a lower cost sort of area, not living in like New York City or Los Angeles. And that's really all you need. Like, you don't need to be making $10,000 a month, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 a month. You don't need to be making that much money to feel that financial freedom. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, right? I can live on well below my means and I'm still very happy because I don't care about material items. That's because I experienced those material items and I found out that it doesn't fulfill me. So say you work at like 4 a.m. to like 1 p.m. or something like that, or you work at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Before you go to work, 10 a.m., like say you wake up at 6 a.m., you have 7, 8, 9, 10, you have 4 hours to work on your skill. So you need to be working on how to market, and specifically paid advertising, cold outbound, inbound marketing, content marketing, short form content, things like these. These are the facets of which you need to be learning in the marketing sphere, right? So let me say that again. Write this down. You need to be learning paid marketing, Google advertising, Facebook advertising, TikTok advertising, things like that. Now, this is specifically for service-based businesses. If you want to start a product-based business, I'm probably not for you because I don't run product-based businesses. I run service-based businesses just because you don't need that much capital to get started. And you could work as little as you want per day, depending on how fast you want to progress inside your business. So you need to be learning these paid marketing channels. You need to be learning content marketing, inbound marketing, right? How to market yourself online with organic content, Reels, TikTok videos, Twitter, Snapchat even, right? Specifically on Facebook and Instagram, and TikTok, those are the 3 biggest ones you want to learn content on. Focus on learning that. What you want to focus on as well is, so that's the marketing side of things, sales. Going back to the marketing thing, cold outbound, meaning you're reaching out to other customers, right? You are reaching out to customers. And when you reach out to customers, they don't know you, you don't know them. And that is cold outbound. You're basically, every time you start a business, you are probably going to be doing some type of cold outbound unless you have capital to allocate towards paid advertising and it can pay for itself, right? So you need to be learning that, because you can start any business, and as long as you know how to pick up the phone, you know how to send a cold email, you know how to send a cold DM, you can rummage up business as quick as you can, and you can start getting in cash, start getting business. On the sales side of things, you need to learn how to sell. Point blank, period. Right now I work as a client success manager, and technically I don't need to know how to market or sell in a technical sense, but I need to know how to market my own clients' offers. I need to know how to sell myself so they can trust me. So sales is underpinned by every single thing you're going to do in this online space. So you need to be learning sales. Specifically, you need to know how to handle objections. You specifically know how to follow a script, how to make a script specific for certain situations. You need to know how to handle certain sales scenarios, and you need to know how to establish frame at the beginning and resetting expectations of the sales call, right? And you don't have to be on calls to sell. You can do it through DMs and stuff like that. It depends on what business you're in, and I'm going to tell you what kind of business model you should probably run. If you have no skills, well, you need to gain skills, and these are the two skills you have to learn. After you have a foundational understanding, this should take you a month to 3 months maximum to understand the foundational principles of these skills. If you're dedicating 4 hours before work and 4 hours after work, that's 8 hours a day. You can't tell me you don't have 8 hours a day. Why? Because if you work 8 hours a day, right, and you sleep 8 hours, well, that's 16 hours. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You have 8 more hours. What are you doing in those 8 more hours, my bro? Don't bullshit me. What are you doing in those 8? You have 8 hours. Okay, sure, maybe you do groceries, that's an hour. Maybe you have to do some other important tasks. Okay, boom, you have 6 hours. Let's just say you have 5 hours. That's still 5 hours of learning these skills to get you out of that 9 to 5. That shitty warehouse job, that shitty UPS job that you're working. Because between you and I, if you're not going to college, if you're not going to trade school, if you haven't been in this business space as long as I have been, where you have connections that, hey, if shit hits the fan, I can reach out to one of these connections, they might have a job for me. If you're not in that position, you're basically fucked, because you're going to be working shitty jobs your entire life. And that's just the truth of it. But it's okay in a sense where you work that job. I don't care if it takes you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years to get out of that job. As long as you're working on something on the side, you are going to be golden. Okay? So I want you to do that. I want you to learn sales. I want you to learn marketing. And once you learn those foundational skills and you have a good understanding of it, get a remote job or a similar physical job that pertains to those skills. Preferably, you want to work in a company where you want to start the business that they're in. So for example, if you want to be a media buyer, you want to be a marketing specialist, well, try to find a job in a marketing agency. Now, chances are you're probably not going to get that marketing role. It probably is a sales development representative role, but you still have that skill of sales, and you can work your way up, and you don't need no fancy degrees or experience to be a SDR, right? You just need charisma on that interview, and that's pretty much it. So get an SDR role, right? Get a sales role in anything but insurance sales and car sales, right? I mean, if you want to, go ahead, but if you don't plan on starting a dealership, if you don't plan on selling cars, if you don't plan on starting an insurance company, I wouldn't work in these two fields. Unless you want to work your way up in a specific job role, then perfect, go ahead. If you want to be an account manager in an insurance company, if you want to be a field director, whatever, sure, go ahead and go in that insurance role. But if you don't want to start that business, or you don't want to move up in a certain job title ranking, well, then you need to work in a company where you want to start their business. So for example, if I want to start a marketing agency and I have the skill of sales, well, I'm just going to be a sales development representative for a marketing agency. Go on Indeed, go on LinkedIn specifically, and look for those jobs. There's tons of people hiring for SDR roles. And that's what I would do. And I would work your way up to a closer, start making money that way, and then revisit expectations with your employer and say, hey, I also have these skills. Do you mind if I put it to the test? Or do you mind if you give me a very small project so I can develop my paid ad skills? And then once you're in that role for 6 to 8, maybe 12 months, you should have a very great understanding on how that marketing agency works and how you can make it better going forward with your own marketing agency. How they handle clients, how they handle customer service, how they handle the sales process, how they handle client drop-off, right? How they handle client churn. Things like this. How do they handle the culture of the team? You will have a foundational understanding of these things 6 to 12 months in, and then once you have enough cash stacked up from your full-time role, right, and your SDR role, and again, you don't have to be working 8 hours a day for this SDR role. Not at all. Like, they don't measure hours. Sure, they might say you're going to work from 9 to 5, but they don't measure hours. They measure the inputs, right? You got to make 50 cold calls. You got to send 100 cold emails. Or you have to make 500 touch points for prospective clients in a month. And with the tech that we have now, you can easily do that in a day. All right. Now, it's going to be harder if you work like a job 10 to 7 p.m. You know, either you do that, you get that part-time SDR role, or you start just doing freelancing gigs. You know, go on Upwork, right? Start to reach out to people that you may know. If not, start to connect with people on LinkedIn. Start talking to people on LinkedIn. Start talking to these sales directors, CEOs. They will answer you, trust me. Just start talking to them and see how you can get your foot in the door. And if you do this for 6 to 12 months, I promise you, you will land some type of paid gig, or at least a free gig that you can learn and have experience and develop that experience. And then eventually you can quit your shitty job and focus on building that business full time based on the marketing and sales skills. Right? So that's what I would do, man. You know, if I had to get, if shit hits the fan and I had to get a shitty job just to pay the bills, those 8 hours a day that I have extra, I mean, I'm developing my entire life to building something on the side. You know, I'm building that marketing agency. I'm building that appointment setting agency. I'm building that cleaning business, right? Because it depends how you look at it. It's liberating, but it's also scary to be controlling your own income because you have to show up every single day. But that should already be a prerequisite, right? You already show up every day to the 9 to 5. How about you show up for yourself? Show up for yourself so you can get out of that shitty job. And again, I don't care if it takes you 3, 4, 5 years. I don't care. Cut the noise off. Don't care what Sally and May are doing. Don't care what the Joneses are doing. They are not on your path. And there's something sweet when you dedicate yourself to something for 5 years and you finally break free on that 6th year. There's something special about it. And I don't care if Sally Mae or John built a 10K a month business and quit his job 2 months in. I don't care about that. Because he can lose it all the next month because it's business, right? I mean, of course, there's systems in place, blah, 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 but we're not going to get into that. There's something sweeter, and you can really be appreciative, and it adds to your collective life experience. You know, when you can go through that for a number of years. I'm not saying it's going to take a number of years, but just have that expectation that, hey, like, I'm not going to expect the world. I'm not going to expect to leave this job until I have these skills that can feed me for a lifetime. And I have that consistent income from the SDR role or a client success manager role, whatever role, or your business income. Then eventually you can leave that role. So that's what I want you to do. And again, if it takes you 5-10 years, I don't care, man. You know, if you're in your early 20s like I am, it's okay. It's literally okay. Like, our life, you know, A lot of people say our life starts when we're 40. So don't worry about those other people, man. Just keep on the path, because there's a lot of opportunities out here for you. And if you're working at McDonald's, if you're working on a retail sales floor, but you're coming back home and you're grinding on your side business, my hat's off to you, man, because you're doing what 95% of people are not willing to do, which is start something on the side and have that humiliation and have that resolve to say, you know what, I know this job is a means to an end. I'm going to work as hard as possible to get out of this because I know that there's something greater for me out there. Right? Your job is meant to supplement your dreams. Your job is meant to supplement your business. And if you're not treating it like that, then you will forever be in that job and you will be comfortable and a delusion comfort. And I know sometimes you wake up every morning and you got to go to your job and then you got to start the business afterwards. When you wake up, you wake up and you automatically have some sort of anxiety or nervousness. I understand that, man. I do. Like I have that some days, and sometimes it's crippling, but as long as you show up, man, things are going to happen. Just show up. Show up and show out. That's all you got to know, man. Right? But in a realistic time frame, when you're doing this when you have this job and you're working 8 hours a day at some shitty warehouse job, you're working 10 hours a day at this shitty warehouse job, you might need to sacrifice some sleep, 5 hours a day on sleep, and then the rest, you better be working on that skill. You better be learning on that skill. You better be getting some real world experience with that skill, which is marketing and sales. And there's different sub skills in here, like paid advertising, creatives, content marketing, inbound, outbound sales, things like that. If you want to get your feet wet, all right, cool, go get a sales job. Just go get a sales job. Not only will it humble you, it will also, it will make you money. Because if the company has a proven sales process and you just follow it, you're going to make money. It's going to suck, though, because it's probably going to be commission only, which kind of sucks. But don't look at it like that. Look at it like I'm getting paid to learn, and I can put this on my resume. I can put this in my skill bag, and I can cash it in for better opportunities later. Right? When you're looking at business and you're 5 years into your business journey, or you're a couple months into your business journey, you might think it's a waste of time because maybe you're not getting anywhere, you're not making any money, but you don't understand that you're developing skills. You're developing work ethic inside of a business context of being an operator, being an owner. And that is being held in your skill bank, right? And you can cash that in for better opportunities when it arises. It's kind of like having a resume. You can have all these jobs and experience in many different fields on your resume. It can get you a better job. Same thing with business. You just can't really see it, unless you write it down like, hey, here's my skills that I've learned inside my business. Here's what I can really do. Here's the track record. Or here's the skills that I'm learning. Here's the skills that I put to the test. What happens if I go 2 to 3, 4 more years developing these skills Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Again, cash that in for better opportunities. Same thing with your job income. Once your bills are paid, keep expenses low, no credit card debt, stay away from that as much as possible. Pour all that money into your business. Pour all that money into skill development. Pour all that money into mentorship. You're going to thank me later, man. This is exactly what I would do. If I lost my business, if I lost my opportunities, if I lost my remote CSM role right now, would have to get a job to pay the bills. I would have to work at some shitty Amazon warehouse job or some shitty UPS or some shitty clerk cashier job. But I'm building a business on the side. There's great comfort in that, knowing that no matter what happens, hey, you can just get a shitty job and work on something on the side until that side business becomes your main business, and so you can quit that job. So keep on the path, man. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.